The generation that was told, go outside, just be home when the streetlights come on, is now being criticized for being too involved in their kids' lives. And that paradox tells you almost everything you need to understand about Gen X parents. If you grew up in the late 60s, 70s, or early 80s, you probably remember coming home to an empty house, both parents working, no one checking homework, no one asking about your day in detail. And this wasn't rare, it was cultural. Between 1970 and 1990, the percentage of mothers with children under 6 in the workforce jumped from about 37% to nearly 60%, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. An entire generation quietly became latchkey kids. You let yourself in, made your own snack, handled your own problems. If something went wrong at school, you were expected to deal with it. If you had friendship drama, you were told to work it out. There was no hovering, no grade negotiations, no emotional processing sessions. You learned independence because you had to, and that independence shaped you. But here's the part people don't talk about. Independence and loneliness can look very similar from the outside. You became self-sufficient, capable, adaptable. But sometimes that strength came wrapped in silence. Fast forward to today, and you'll notice something interesting about Gen X parents. Many openly admit their latchkey childhood still affects them. They talk, often with surprising honesty, about consciously choosing to parent differently. Not because they hated their upbringing, but because they remember what it felt like to wonder if anyone was really paying attention. So now, they try to be present. Not suffocating, not hovering 24/7, but present. Some people call them stealth fighter parents. They're not constantly intervening. They'll let their kids struggle. They'll let them handle their own social issues. But when something serious happens, they show up, fully, intensely. Principal's office? They're there. Unfair treatment? They're engaged. Real threat? They're all in. And here's the irony. Many of them swore they'd never be overbearing. They valued the independence they grew up with. But something shifts when you become the parent. Memories of empty houses, of figuring it out alone, of wishing someone had noticed. That doesn't disappear. It informs you. Psychologist Diana Baumrind identified parenting styles based on 2 dimensions: responsiveness, emotional warmth, and demandingness, expectations and boundaries. Authoritative parenting, high warmth, high expectations, consistently shows the healthiest outcomes for kids: stronger emotional regulation, higher self-esteem, better academic performance, better social skills. It's not authoritarian, strict, low warmth. It's not permissive, warm, no boundaries. It's, I care about you deeply, and you're still responsible for your choices. There's no sweeping study proving Gen X parents universally adopt this style, but listen to how they talk. I want to be there, but not smother. I want them independent, but supported. I want them tough, but emotionally secure. That maps closely to authoritative parenting. And context matters. Gen X graduated into recessions, watched pensions vanish, saw job security dissolve. They learned early that systems aren't guaranteed to protect you, so they don't promise their kids a stable world. They try to prepare them for an unstable one. And they're doing it in a completely different cultural environment. They're the first generation raising kids in the era of social media, where every moment can be posted, judged, compared. They grew up with privacy. Embarrassment faded. Mistakes weren't archived. So they're navigating something unfamiliar while managing aging parents, financial pressure, career plateaus, the classic sandwich generation squeeze. Boomer parents may think they're too soft. Gen Z kids may think they're too strict. And Gen X stands in the middle, translating between worlds. They're trying to combine the resilience they gained with the emotional presence they missed. They're not obsessed with parenting trends or online validation. That latchkey experience taught them something permanent. External approval is unreliable, so they parent from an internal compass. They might let their teen make the same mistake twice because repetition teaches, but they'll also answer the phone at 2 a.m. without judgment because they remember what it felt like not having anyone to call. Their relationship with technology shapes things too. They remember life before the internet, before smartphones, before constant comparison. They know boredom builds creativity. They know presence without screens feels different. So when they set boundaries around devices, it's not fear-driven, it's experience-driven. They understand the tools, but they question the cost. So if you see a Gen X parent who seems relaxed, not hovering, but clearly paying attention, that's intentional. They're trying to raise kids who feel secure and capable, who know someone has their back, but also know how to stand on their own. For a generation once described as one of the least nurtured in modern American history,
Showing up emotionally is not a small thing. It's a deliberate shift. They're breaking patterns without discarding resilience. And maybe that's the most Gen X thing of all. If this resonated with you, stay curious. There's always more beneath the surface.